Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be getting a tree for the sawmill. I want to mill up some siding and lumber for building, and then perhaps some furniture or just general purpose lumber. The tree is that poplar tree, so this one right here. It's about, I don't know, 24 inches to 30 inches at the base, probably 30 inches. Very tall, super duper straight, pretty much standing straight up and down. It might be leaning a touch that way, but for the most part it's straight. I want the tree to basically fall right there, which would put it right between where the branches from these two trees are kind of coming together. So I want it to just kind of brush against those and slam down right here. Then what I'll do is I will take the top of the tree off the branches, hook to the tractor, and see if I can drag the whole thing out. I doubt I'll be able to, but the tractor might be able to do it. Otherwise, I'll just cut it into sections and pull the sections up the top of the hill and then get them back to the sawmill. Well, it didn't do exactly what I wanted it to do. While I'm at it, I'm going to cut this tree down here. I'm not going to get the camera that close. It's a dead oak tree. A lot of dead branches up top. I don't know if the tree could be hollowed, so it could be unpredictable which way it goes. So I'm just going to go down there and cut it. I think I want to try to drop it into the woods. I think it's the safest direction in this case. I could drop it this way, but I don't really want to tear up the stuff on the edge of the woods. And if it tears something up in the woods, it really won't matter as much. And I can still get my tractor down there or pull up sections from this way. So it might not be that exciting of a view, but it's the way it's going to be right now. Here, I'll get in. I'm going to try to drop it the other way so the top will come into focus as it's falling. It won't be that dramatic though. It's getting dark, so let's take a look at the logs that we got. This is the poplar tree. So the bottom of that log there, you can get an idea. It's probably a little over 2 feet in diameter, and has a little bit of swell at the bottom, not much, and then it straightens out. So this is the bottom of the tree, then this is the next log, that's the next log, and then this was the top. So nothing looks as big once it gets on the ground, but these are good sized logs. I'll make a siding probably out of all of this, and I'll probably cut this into some sort of a post or something like that. Take a couple boards off the outside and then just turn it into like a 6x6 or something, maybe some 2x4s. But this one will probably, just due to its kind of wonkiness, the boards will probably dry a little bit funny. This stuff will probably dry pretty nice. Poplar, when you are doing woodworking with it, working with kiln dried wood, it's excellent. You know, I think it's very predictable and stuff, but when you're drying it, it can be tricky wood to dry. It just dries in weird ways. You'll just end up with shrinking and warping in very irregular ways, versus when you dry pine or pine, for example, usually the stresses that relieve and turn into whatever form of warping, twisting, cupping, bowing, anything like that, it's kind of predictable, and it kind of happens regularly. Poplar will do a thing like where the board just dries and it gets wavy, like down the length. It can just, you know, it's funny wood. To be as straight as it is, it's funny wood when it dries. The oak logs, so what are the lengths on these things? I think the trailer's 16 feet, and they're most of that, but I think it's 14 feet. And these are, this one's like, this one I think is like probably a little over 14, a little over 13. I think this was, you know, I didn't cut that one to length, that's just the top of the log, so probably about 12. And let's see, that's the bottom of the tree there, and then this would go here, and then this would start up there. So they're a little flipped around. One thing that happened is when I cut this one off the rest of the tree, this part was kind of sticking up. There was a hump in the ground causing the bottom of the tree to stick up. The rest of the entire tree was heavy enough to keep it off the ground. And I scored the bottom of the log, which was this cut right here, so it was here and here were connected. And I was scored the bottom and then started making my cut. And the reason you cut into the bottom is because as it's going, what can happen is the stress can cause the wood to split, and it will just split the tree and just break off the bottom of the tree. Well, that's exactly what happened, even though I did the right thing. But I underestimated just how much this weighed. It was able to split it almost in half. It's not quite in half, but it's probably a good 5 inches into the tree. That really surprised me, and that split runs from here, well, from the end of the tree to where it ended was 8 feet. It just went whoosh, just ripped off the bottom. I wish I would have got that on the camera. It would have been pretty neat. The logs are absolutely filthy, so they are going to be pressure washed really good. I'm going to now, using my headlamp, go ahead and seal these logs, seal the grain up on these logs just to lessen any kind of checking, and then that applies that end sealer to each individual board and keeps the boards from splitting on the end a little bit. It's not going to completely prevent it, but it makes a worthwhile difference. Those logs over there are from something else. So that and this done over the course of 2 days. So you know, financially speaking, it's a terrible use of my time probably. Although I guess if I milled all this up and had a way of drying it, kiln drying it and selling it, I don't know. Working hard, making money is, you know, it's tricky. You know, this stuff I'm milling up for personal use in the sawmill building, furniture projects, and whatnot. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do this to make money. This would be a lot of work. So for me, it's kind of a hybrid of, I do make money as a result of doing a lot of the stuff that I do. I've just picked things that I like doing. But if you were doing this strictly out of that was your job, oh, it'd be fun too, probably, in a way. Especially if you had heavy equipment. that's enough rambling. Thank you all for watching. Just wanted to give you an idea of what is involved in going down into the woods, getting bigger sized trees like this on your own, using moderate equipment is what I'll call my tractor, my truck, my trailer, my winch. You know, it's impressive what you can do. Of course, the tractor, I don't want to underplay the value of the tractor. The tractor's incredible. There's no way I could do this without a tractor. These logs are just too heavy. You couldn't take a pickup truck into the woods. It wouldn't have the traction to drag stuff like this out. I think the only thing outside of heavy equipment would be some sort of horses that they used to do all this stuff with. Yeah, thanks. See you next time.